Yo, Buddha Gang, we back in the building, and today we gonna talk about the rappers that are hated by their kids. Make sure y'all hit that like button and make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Let's get it.
He thinks I'm entitled when that's not the case. Like, it's never been about the money for me. It's more so the relationship and for me personally.
From 50 Cent, who had issues with his son Marquise Jackson on disputes over child support payments, to
Man, he be tripping, he be on me too much. Everything I do, he got a problem with it. Real shit, everything I do, he be hating.
Uzi's son, Tootie Raw, who says his father hates on everything he does, to
You don't send your kids nothing, and you be beating on sugar. You beat on sugar, and you have sugar over there.
Lil King crazy. And you be beating on sugar. You be beating on the sugar.
Crying.
Finesse 2Time's son, who spoke on his father's endless home abuse. These are 10 rappers hated by their kids. Let's begin with the first on the list. 50 Cent and Marquise Jackson. The beef between Fif and Marquise been one of the most publicized family fallouts in hip-hop, playing out across the gram, in interviews, and even in song lyrics for well over a decade now. It all goes back to 2008 when 50's relationship with Marquise's moms, Shaniqua Tompkins, fell apart in the most public and messy way possible. In interviews over the years, Marquise has painted a real sad picture of a relationship that completely fell off when he was around 10 or 11 years old. The child support payments, which started at a crazy $25,000 per month, got reduced down.
Child support at $25,000 a month is crazy.
Hell no. No.
Buddha ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't paying no $25,000 a month for no child support. Let's get it.
Down to $6,700 after Marquise turned 18, a number that Marquise publicly said wasn't enough to live in New York, and one that would become a constant source of beef between father and son. Things got real ugly in 2018 when 50 posted a comment on the gram about a photo of Marquise standing next to the son of one of his ops, saying something so cold it shocked even his most loyal day ones, that if both of them got hit by a bus, he wouldn't have a bad day. In 2020, 50 went even further on Instagram Live, stating that he'd take rapper Tekashi 6ix99, a known snitch, over his own biological son. That's wild on every level. Marquise tried to reach out publicly in ways that were both creative and straight up heartbreaking. He offered his pops $6,700 for just 24 hours of quality time together, a pointed reference to that child support number that had come to represent everything wrong with their relationship.
You and Eminem talk about your kids. Where are you and Marquise at right now? How's your relationship with?
I don't have a relationship with him
at all whatsoever.
No, it's an unfortunate situation.
When Fif got asked about the strained relationship, he put a lot of the blame on what he called programming from Marquise's moms. The idea that
And I wasn't there for the whole thing, so I can't speak on the whole 50 Cent relationship with his baby mama. But one thing I do know is that when 50 started popping, Marquise was everywhere with him, jewelried up, you know what I'm saying? He could have had on any shoe, could have got any shoe he want, but he kept him in a fresh pair of them G-Unit sneakers. You know, fresh pair of G-Unit sneakers. Don't be acting like y'all ain't never wore the G-Unit sneaker. You niggas was wearing G-Unit sneakers. But at the end of the day, man, you know, it end up being like that sometime. The son gonna gravitate towards the mom a lot of the times, and you know, the son might end up hating his daddy if the mama don't like the daddy.
Shaniqua been poisoning their son's mind against him for years by constantly reminding him of what his father supposedly owed him.
All I can think of is the entitlement being filtered, right? So you gotta imagine, how do you make a privileged child feel deprived or angry? Like big, you say, when he comes into his own and he starts to have interest in his identity.
When asked on another occasion about sitting down with his son to hash things out, 50 was straight up dismissive and skeptical, suggesting that Marquise's public pleas for reconciliation were more about clout than genuine desire for healing.
You know, actually, your son wants to sit down with you.
No, he doesn't. See, Charlamagne, you would call me. You don't call TMZ to say you want to sit down. Think about it, man.
For his part, Marquise been saying publicly and repeatedly that it was never about
50 the type to have his son blocked and then say, nah, my son could have called me. How the man gonna call you? You got him blocked. 50, stop it. Come on, man.
The bread. It was about the relationship. He's expressed that he's down to sit down, to chop it up, to try to understand his father's perspective, and to share his own pain in hopes of building something new.
I don't even know if a sit down can actually restore the situation. It's just more so it's an olive branch. Like, if you up for it, I'm up for it. I'm definitely willing to sit down with him and so I can hear his perspective and gain a little bit of understanding.
As of 2025, 50 Cent Dunn reportedly removed Marquise from his will entirely, giving everything to his younger son Sire for what he calls responsibility. Next on the list is Ghostface Killah and Infinite Coles. Wu-Tang Clan's Ghostface Killah built his legendary status on raw, emotional storytelling, bars that painted vivid, almost cinematic pictures of struggle, loyalty, pain, and the bonds of family. His albums stay loaded with references to his moms, his siblings, his hood, but according to his son, Infinite Coles, that deep emotional capacity and loyalty apparently ain't extend to his own kids. In May of 2023, Infinite publicly called his pops a deadbeat dad in an emotional Instagram post that had the whole hip-hop community shook and left fans of the Wu-Tang legend stunned. Infinite claimed he ain't had a real conversation or visit with his father in over 15 years, a whole decade and a half of silence from a man whose music speaks so real about the importance of family and keeping it 100. He detailed growing up without basic utilities as a kid, struggling to get.
But is that his son or is that his daughter? I don't know, man. Y'all get down in the comment section and let me know. Is that Ghostface son or his daughter? Because am I seeing? I'm hearing him say son, but I'm seeing a girl. What's going on?
By and even living in a homeless shelter during the COVID-19 pandemic, all while his pops was enjoying the fruits of Wu-Tang's legendary run and touring the world. But there's another layer to this story that makes it even more complicated and honestly even more heartbreaking. Infinite Coles is openly gay, and he speculated publicly that his father's discomfort with his sexuality played a major role.
Oh, so he like LGBTQ or something, I guess. Okay, I get it now.
In the estrangement, he's pointed to homophobic language in Wu-Tang's music, the casual slurs, the aggressive masculinity, as something that affected him deeply growing up, making him feel like there was something fundamentally wrong with who he was.
Let me tell you something. Ghostface Killah disowns his son because Ghostface Killah thought he raised a warrior. He thought he had a son cut from that Wu-Tang cloth. Woo with it, woo. Ghostface Killah thought he had a son that was gonna rock Timberland boots.
No. He said he thought he had a son that was gonna rock Timberland boots. Come on, Nino, man. No, I don't think nobody think they having their son to be thinking like, no, my son go wear Timberland boots. They good? Yeah, when my son get here, he gonna come out with a whole tree trunk on his feet, nigga. Straight Timberland boot, nigga. No, no. Hell no.
13 and a half. A wife beater. And some goddamn blue 501 Levi jeans. You know how them New York ninjas do. But when his son came out the goddamn closet, Ghostface Killah couldn't handle it. He disowned him. He turned his back on the gay son because he thought his legacy would fail.
In September 2025, Infinite dropped tracks called Sweet Face Killah and Dad and I from his upcoming album that directly addressed his father's absence with no filter. The bars question Ghostface's priorities, challenge his expectations of traditional masculinity, and lay bare the pain of a kid who just wanted his pop's love and acceptance. But Infinite been careful to clarify in interviews that these tracks ain't meant as attacks or attempts to destroy his father's legacy. They're expressions of love, of pain, and of a desperate, enduring hope for reconciliation that might never come. What makes this situation even more real is that Infinite found the support and acceptance he craved from his uncle RZA, who funded his album and provided the emotional backing that Ghostface never did. Meanwhile, Ghost himself been maintaining complete silence on the matter, never publicly responding to his son's accusations or his music. His other sons, Sun God and Supreme Intelligence, have collaborated with him on numerous tracks and spoken real positive about their relationships with their pops, making Infinite's experience of abandonment and rejection all the more isolating and painful. There's also the rapper whose kids hate him despite investing millions in child support, Uncle Luke and his children. Luther Uncle Luke Campbell pioneered Miami bass with 2 Live Crew, created some of the most controversial and boundary-pushing music of his era, and took the fight all the way to the United States Supreme Court for the right to free speech and artistic expression. He's a cultural icon, a trailblazer, and a man who never backed down from no smoke. But when it comes to his own shorties, the man who once commanded stages across America says he's been defeated completely and utterly by their hatred. In multiple interviews over the years, Uncle Luke has openly and painfully stated that his children hate him, despite claiming to have dropped well over $2.7 million in child.
I ain't never seen an interview, none of that, Luke kids saying that they hate him, but I don't know. Maybe he got a problem with some of them, all of them, or no. I ain't never even heard Luke speak down bad on these kids.
Child support, plus hundreds of thousands more in legal fees fighting custody battles. He says he never gets Father's Day love, never gets calls on his birthday, and feels completely cut off from kids he once dreamed of having close relationships with. He blames the baby mamas for poisoning them against him over the years, filling their heads with stories of abandonment and neglect that he swears ain't true. But perhaps nothing was more shocking than when Uncle Luke made a declaration that left interviewers speechless.
I'm not sure if you've seen the internet and some different reports of, your daughter on there kind of, I guess, it's not a good thing, but I guess trying to reach out to you or just say something.
Well, I only have one kid.
Really?
Son.
Really?
Yeah, I only have one kid.
I thought, Luke, with the reality show and everything, didn't you have your other kids and everything on there?
I have one kid. His name is Blake Campbell, and he stays with me, and me and my wife raises him, and that's it.
That statement, I only have.
Oh no, I spoke too soon. Look the hell you talking about. Luke, you know you got way more than one kid. Like, come on, man. We ain't doing that. Luke, how you gonna say that? I don't know how many he got, but I know it's more than one. That's crazy.
Of one kid, had everybody bugging who knew that Luke had fathered multiple children with multiple women over the years. It was a public disowning of sorts, a declaration that the kids who rejected him were no longer his kids in his eyes. He went on to explain his perspective in brutal, raw terms that revealed the depth of his pain and bitterness.
I made mistakes in my life, you know what I'm saying, and I like kids to understand out there, kids and everybody to understand. It's important to practice safe sex, and it's important to, not have sex without condoms because you'll be sperm donating, and when you sperm donate, then, to angry parents, angry mothers, then unfortunately the only thing is about a check. And when you get a check, then the results of that check ends up where your sperm donation kids are online talking bad about you.
He went even further, bringing up both biblical principles and Japanese cultural values about family honor and respect.
So I'm like the Chinese, I'm like the Japanese. I spent a lot of time in Japan. Like the Bible say, honor thy mother and her father, or your life will be short. And the Japanese folks say, once you disrespect your mother or your father, your parents, you know what I'm saying? You wash your hands with them.
His daughter Lucretia, also known as Cree, has publicly accused him of putting hands on her and her moms and being emotionally absent, posting viral videos around 2010-2011 that detailed her grievances in painful detail. The situation was dramatic enough to be featured on VH1's reality shows, including Luke's Parental Advisory, where audiences watched the family dysfunction play out in real time. Luke Dunn famously challenged his estranged children to drop his last name if they hate him so much, pointing out what he sees as the fundamental hypocrisy of using his fame and his name while simultaneously despising him and everything he stands for. Next on the list is Boosie Badazz and his daughters. Boosie Badazz ain't never been one to hold back his opinion.
Hold on, man. Boosie Badazz? Wait, when Boosie changed his name to Boosie the Badazz? Oh, come on, man. Boosie bad. We say Boosie the Badazz. You know what I'm saying? Ain't funny as hell, boy.
Opinions on nothing, from politics to social issues to parenting to sexuality. With 8 kids from 6 different women and a 9th on the way, Boosie's family dynamics are mad complicated. But his very public beefs with daughters Poison Ivy and Toriana Hatch have become especially explosive. The situation with Poison Ivy, whose real name is Eviona Hatch, centers entirely on her identity as a lesbian, and Boosie's complete inability hostility or unwillingness to accept it. In a September 2024 appearance on Young Miami's Caresha Please podcast, Boosie stated that he prohibits Ivy from bringing her girlfriend to the crib, fearing it would contaminate his other kids and influence them toward homosexuality. Ivy clapped back with a nearly 15-minute.
Nah, I do feel like, you know, and Boosie came out and said it himself that he was wrong for that, because Ivy, she do shout out Boosie a lot, give him all the credit in the world, never said nothing bad about him. And, you know, he did kind of go at her sideways or whatever like that, man. If your child bigging you up in the public, then, you know, you should big up your child. If you got problems with whatever your child doing behind the scenes, you shouldn't put that on the internet or take that to the public.
Instagram video that was equal parts heartbreaking and heated. She accused her pops of emotional and mental neglect, of caring more about his public image than his relationship with his own kid. She emphasized that she had forgiven past hurtful comments, but was finally fed up with the constant public bashing, while still acknowledging that he's not a bad father overall and does provide that bread. The clip went viral, forcing Boosie to post apologetic messages like "never meant to hurt you" and "God got us," though no full reconciliation has been publicly confirmed. The situation with daughter Toriana is perhaps even more dramatic and straight up toxic. In August 2023, Boosie took back a Mercedes he had previously blessed her with after she made the decision to move in with her moms instead of staying with him. Toriana went off on Instagram Live, playing audio of a heated phone call where Boosie allegedly threatened to black her eye and remove her from his will. She also made references to his past legal troubles, including his time on death row for murder for hire charges he was ultimately acquitted of. The whole thing was messy, public, and deeply painful for everybody involved.
Why'd you take that car away?
Because her mom filed child support on me, and all of them was in on it together.
Meaning who?
My daughter
and her.
Boosie later.
Now I feel like this: if the mama filed child support, but you already bought your daughter the car, that shouldn't have nothing to do with, you know, you and your daughter based on what the mama doing. You know what I'm saying? She should have kept her car.
Confirmed on camera that he had indeed followed through on his threat to remove Toriana from his will, and his words were absolutely cold in their finality.
What kind of mama do that?
Come on, man.
Now the level of disrespect she got, it ain't no will. I did take her out my will. Ain't no, I did. Ain't no.
Put her back in the wheel, Boosie. Y'all will make up later.
It has been done. I did whatever to raise that child, right? Shit. Tried everything. The disrespect you have for your daddy, shit. You ain't gonna get nothing when I leave here.
Beyond his documented conflicts with his daughters, Boosie has faced widespread criticism and outrage for admitting he arranged sexual encounters for his underage son and nephews as a way to train them and prevent homosexuality, a practice that child welfare experts and psychologists have universally condemned as grooming and straight-up child abuse. It's parenting decisions like these that have cast a long, dark shadow over his relationships with all his kids and raised serious questions about his fitness as a father. This next rapper's child's hatred stemmed from abandoning his family after separation from her mother. Benzino and Coi Leray. Benzino, the former co-owner of the legendary hip-hop magazine The Source and a longtime rapper in his own right, has watched his daughter Coi Leray rise to superstardom with bangers like No More Parties and Players, but their relationship behind the scenes has been anything but harmonious. Coi has publicly described.
Now, I ain't gonna even lie. Coi Leray done had that baby and got fine. You hear me? I'm talking Coi Leray over fan right now. I don't know what Trippie Redd been doing. I might have to hop in her DM because, baby girl, I'm talking, woo, Lord Jesus. But anyway, back to the video. I'm just saying, if y'all go look at Coi Leray IG, but she, oh my God, Lord have mercy, had that baby and she thinking all the right places. You hear me?
experiencing significant hardship after her parents' separation, claiming that the family went completely broke after Benzino got ousted from The Source magazine. She's alleged in interviews that her moms had to resort to moving work just to keep a roof over their heads, and that they experienced periods of homelessness, sleeping in cars when they couldn't afford nothing else. Coy started working as a teenager, taking whatever job she could find to support herself because she couldn't rely on her pops to provide. The tension between father and daughter escalated dramatically as Coy's career took off. She accused Benzino of being envious of her success, claiming he refuses to congratulate her on major milestones like Grammy nominations, and instead uses her rising fame for his own clout, inserting himself into her narrative whenever it benefits him. She's called him bitter.
Yeah, because at this point, Coi Leray is way more popular than her daddy. Nigga ain't do nothing but let The Source get closed down and had that one hit song. What was the name? We gonna rock the party. We'll be at the party. We gonna do the party. We will be the party. We gonna be in the party. Yeah, that's all Benzino ever did. He never did that new shit.
Bitter and evil in interviews and on social media, and she famously stated something that cut straight to the heart of their dysfunctional relationship. DNA doesn't make you family. That statement alone tells you everything you need to know about how deep the wounds run, fam. In 2024, Coy publicly disowned her pops entirely after he defended R. Kelly's sentencing in interviews, questioning the severity of the punishment and making controversial comments about age of consent laws that many found deeply disturbing. Coy stated straight up that she wanted nothing to do with him moving forward and revealed that she ain't spoken to him in over a year at that point. For his part, Benzino has expressed deep hurt about the situation, even crying in interviews about being portrayed as a deadbeat dad when he insists that ain't the truth. He's blamed external factors like the cutthroat music industry and her mom's influence for turning Coy against him. Next on the list is Dr. Dre and LaTanya Young. When you sitting on an estimated $500 million, when you done built an empire that includes legendary albums, a headphone company sold for billions, and countless business ventures, you'd think your seeds would never want for nothing. But for Dr. Dre's eldest daughter, LaTanya Young, the reality of being Andre Young's kid has been painfully, shockingly different from what anybody would expect. In 2021, LaTanya revealed to the world that she was homeless and living out of her whip with her 4 children, despite her pop's billionaire status.
Now, I ain't gonna lie though. When that came out, I was thinking to myself, like, if I was Dre, I'd let the grandkids come stay with me. But baby, you gotta figure something out. You gotta figure it out, baby, because ain't no way. How you done went and made 4 babies and you ain't got no crib to stay in? Like, what the hell you been doing? You know what I'm saying? Then I think Dr. Dre done bought her cribs before bought her car. What you doing? Come on, man. No, I couldn't. I had to be with Dre on this one. Like, he was showing some tough love, but I ain't gonna lie, I'ma always take my grandkids in. But I mean, you being a parent, I mean, you can spit it out, but you gotta get on your grind and stuff. Like, you gotta show me you try to get on your feet. You ain't finna just come to the bed, shit. You know what I'm saying? To be laid up there, you did want to bring your man through. They want to lay up with your man. You'll be the maid a 5th grandbaby. That's 5 grandbabies in my house when I only took in you and 4. Like, nah.
And his reputation as one of the most successful figures in music history. Let that marinate for a second. The daughter of Dr. Dre, sleeping in a vehicle, struggling to feed her kids, working gig economy jobs like DoorDash and Uber Eats just to survive. She claims she ain't had any meaningful contact with him for nearly 2 decades. 18 years of silence, of unanswered calls, of being completely cut off from a father who clearly had more than enough bread to help. LaTanya revealed that she ain't received any financial support from her pops since January 2020, and when she tried to speak to the media about her situation, Dre's team allegedly told her that the support stopped specifically because she went public. She started a GoFundMe campaign to help with housing costs, which raised uncomfortable questions about how a man of Dre's immense wealth could have a daughter and grandchildren living in such desperate circumstances. She blamed stepmother Nicole Young for the rift, particularly amid the contentious and highly publicized divorce proceedings that were playing out at the time. What makes this especially striking and painful to consider is that Dre's relationships with his younger kids, particularly Truice and Truly from his marriage to Nicole, appear to be much healthier and more involved. They've been attending events together, posting positive positive about their pops on social media and seem to enjoy the benefits of having a wealthy, famous parent who is present in their lives. The stark contrast with LaTonya's experience of abandonment and poverty highlights the deeply uneven family dynamics that can develop when a celebrity has kids with multiple partners across different stages of their career. Some kids get the mansion, others get forgotten entirely. Dre ain't never publicly responded to LaTonya's claims or addressed the situation in any meaningful way, leaving her story to stand as a stark and disturbing reminder that wealth and fame don't guarantee family harmony or even basic parental responsibility and care. Next on the list made headlines for all the wrong reasons. T.I. and Deja Harris. T.I. Dunn built an impressive empire as a rapper, actor, author, and businessman. He's copped Grammy Awards, moved millions of units, starred in films, and positioned himself as a family man through reality television shows that brought cameras into his crib. But in 2019, he made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Headlines that would strain his relationship with his daughter Deja and spark a national conversation about parental overreach that had everybody wilding. During an appearance on a podcast, T.I. casually admitted that he accompanied his then 18-year-old daughter Deja to annual gynecologist visits specifically to check her hymen and verify that she was still a virgin. He described it matter-of-factly, like this was a perfectly normal thing for a father to do, not understanding or not caring how invasive, controlling, and frankly disturbing most people would find this revelation. The backlash from the public was immediate, fierce, and unrelenting. People was horrified across the board. Medical professionals spoke out about how this wasn't even a scientifically.
He was just trying to make sure his daughter went out here giving up, you know what I'm saying, her utopia box. What's wrong with that? He trying to make sure his daughter was straight.
Valid way to determine virginity and how it could cause psychological harm. Women's rights advocates condemned it as a violation of bodily autonomy. And in the middle of all this controversy was Deja, a young woman whose most private medical information had just been broadcast to the entire world by her own pops. Deja tearfully addressed the situation on the family's reality show, describing the dynamic between her and her father as awkward and expressing just how deeply embarrassed and humiliated she was by his comments. She temporarily deactivated all her social media accounts in the aftermath, unable to face the scrutiny and the endless commentary about her personal life. Her moms publicly criticized T.I.'s approach, adding another layer of family tension to an already explosive situation. T.I. later apologized publicly, claiming his comments had been misconstrued and that the situation wasn't as it had been portrayed, though many found his explanations cap. Family members have noted that there have been improvements in the relationship since then, with T.I. admitting he was wrong in how he handled things, and Deja's sister Zonique saying he's become less overbearing in the years since. While their relationship has reportedly improved and grown in the years since that controversy, the incident will forever be remembered as an example of the invasive, controlling parenting practices that can exist in celebrity families and the lasting psychological impact they can have on the trust between parent and child. There is also the one whose hatred stemmed from emotional distance, Bow Wow and Shay Moss. Unlike a lot of the dramatic stories on this list, Bow Wow's relationship with his daughter Shay Moss ain't characterized by public hatred, explosive Instagram lives, or diss tracks, but there are signs of emotional distance and a desire for independence.
I don't believe that. Then Bow Wow just bought her like a diamond chain, a bracelet or something. So I don't think they got a real big problem with the Bow Wow been icing her out.
That have raised eyebrows among those who follow the former child star's family life. At just 13 years old, Shay expressed a strong desire for a normal life away from the spotlight, telling people she wanted to avoid TikToks, red carpet appearances, and all the trappings of celebrity life that come with being Bow Wow's daughter. For a kid who grew up with cameras around, this push for privacy and normalcy speaks volumes about how she feels about the fame her pops has cultivated throughout his career. Reports have also highlighted moments of emotional distance between father and daughter, including Bow Wow's apparent unawareness during California wildfires when Shay had to evacuate. For a father to not know his daughter is in potential danger speaks to a disconnect that goes beyond simple miscommunication. It suggests a level of absence that's concerning. Bow Wow's relationship with his younger son Stone Moss, born in 2020 to model Olivia Skye, has been significantly more contentious, though the issues are primarily between the adults rather than with the kid himself. Bow Wow initially seemed to question paternity, making subtle references to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean on social media in a real slick way. Olivia has publicly accused him of being an inconsistent presence in Stone's life, of complicating co-parenting, and of making harsh comments that have damaged their ability to raise their son together. To be fair, Shay has delivered emotional tributes to her pops on special occasions, praising the lessons he's taught her about hard work, authenticity, and pursuit pursuing your dreams. They've shared fun moments on social media, including dance battles and playful roasting, but her consistent push for privacy and her expressed desire to stay away from the spotlight suggest at least some resentment toward the celebrity life that comes with being Bow Wow's daughter. The next kid's hatred stemmed from his father's ignorance to his needs. Finesse 2 times and Fung King. Memphis rapper Finesse 2 times has found himself caught up in family drama that's played out messily across social media platforms, courtrooms, and in the streets. While not his
Him and King on Instagram arguing right now.
biological son, FNG King, a young artist that Finesse took under his wing and essentially adopted as his protege, been at the center of some serious and disturbing allegations about neglect and dysfunction. Reports surfaced of FNG King being seen publicly begging for bread, which prompted responses from the young rapper about the neglect he was experiencing.
You don't send your kids nothing, and you be beating on sugar. You beat on sugar, and you.
Whoa. Whoa, Finesse King said you beating on sugar. Finesse. You out here dressed in everything, man. What about Lil King say you beating on sugar, man? I already know what Finesse would say. I'm disciplined. I go by jailhouse rules. You know what I said? I go by jailhouse rules.
You have sugar over there crying whenever you go cheat on her, man. Let's keep it real. Hold on now. I gotta just think, let me just think in my mind for a second. Then you got mad. You took the chain when I went out with Bagnum. You told me stop going to the locker room with Bagnum. You was hating on Bagnum. Then when I tried to go in the locker room with Fatnum to see my Buckley, shout out to Buckley forever, my brother, we locked in. You was hating on Bagnum like, hey man, stop going in there with them.
The situation has included custody battles, allegations that the young man ran away, and even probation violations tied to threats made in the midst of all the chaos. FNG King has accused Finesse of providing him with substances and creating an unstable environment, accusations that paint a troubling picture of what was supposed to be a mentorship relationship. The dysfunction don't stop there. Finesse has also faced very public disputes with his own biological moms, who accused him of not providing financial help despite his success as a rapper. She claimed she was struggling while he was living lavish, a charge that Finesse denied and clapped back against with alleged proof of payments he had made over the years. But the fact that a rapper has to publicly defend himself against accusations of neglecting his own moms speaks to the level of family dysfunction that permeates his life. The next on the list appeared to have been absent from the life of his kids for years: Kirk Frost and his children. Love and Hip Hop. Atlanta star and music producer Kirk Frost has navigated an incredibly complicated family life that been broadcast for millions of television viewers to witness and judge. His highly publicized 2016 affair with Jasmine Washington, which resulted in the birth of his son Cannon, humiliated his wife Rashida on national television and strained his relationships with all of his kids in ways that are still being felt years later. Rashida has cited their children as a key reason for staying in the marriage despite the betrayal, noting the profound emotional impact on kids who had viewed Kirk as a superhero figure, only to watch that image shatter on reality television. The pain of seeing your pop's infidelity exposed to the world is something no kid should have to experience. Yet Kirk's children had to process their family's destruction in the most public way imaginable. His eldest son, Christopher, experienced estrangement from Kirk for years due to his own personal struggles with substance abuse, though they've since reconciled on camera in emotional scenes that moved viewers. But the reconciliation with Christopher stands in stark contrast to the ongoing tensions with other family members. Jasmine has accused Kirk of
I ain't gonna lie, it's messed up when your wife could beat up every female you cheated on her with. That's what's so crazy.
being more TV parent than an actually present father with their son Cannon, claiming his involvement is limited to what looks good on camera rather than genuine day-to-day parenting. On-show moments have captured Kirk struggling.
Yeah, man, so y'all know, man, this was the 10 rappers, that I hated by their kids. Y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about all this. It's your boy Buddha. I'm out.